Welcome to Stories with Steve, a podcast on the Central Buna Podcast Network. Every Thursday in 5 minutes or less, we'll lift you up with stories of how God works behind the scenes in our lives. Romans 8:28 tells us that God works all things together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. Now with an encouraging story, here's Steve.
Okay. That's crazy. No, that's God. Actually, that's a book that's coming out soon by my friend, Pastor Juan Martinez, who's in the Houston area, the Spring area. And the book just kind of talks about, how sometimes things will happen in people's lives. They'll say, wow, that's crazy. Well, he takes it a step further and says, no, that's God. And I was thinking about that, in our lives, so many things happen out of the blue that you just can't explain any other way than God. I've had my share of car breakdowns in my life. Matter of fact, I think I could write a whole book about it. But there was one particular incident that stood out. So when I was back in college, I went to college in Dallas and I lived in Houston. And so it's, about 4 or 5 hour drive up I-45. And so I'm the spring break and I'm headed back to school. Everything's going great. It's a beautiful day. Well, I'm about halfway there past Huntsville. All of a sudden my car makes a noise. The engine light comes on. And so thankfully I'm able to pull over on the side of the road, the shoulder. And so I'm stuck. And, it's like, cars are just flying by you. Well, I was able to get out of my car safely and I was able to open up the hood. And, for some reason, I didn't panic. Now, keep in mind, this is a time before cell phones, okay? Back in those days, you had to walk to the nearest town and make a phone call or you were at somebody's mercy. And so I was a long distance away from the next town, I think Madisonville. And so I just kind of said, okay, Lord, here I am, and there's nothing I can do. I'm kind of at your mercy. And so cars were just flying by me on the interstate there. And all of a sudden the car passes by and then pulls over and starts slowly backing up. And I thought, wow, that's great. Somebody actually do that. So the car is backing up slowly, and I don't recognize the car. But as it gets closer and closer to me, I see the bumper sticker, and it says Dallas Baptist University. And I'm like, no way. So it was two of my friends that just happened to be along at the same time. I think they were more shocked to see me than I was them. But the ironic thing is they were supposed to leave earlier that day, and they got delayed, whatever. So I just thought about what are the odds, what are the mathematic odds of that happening? There's probably 1 million cars that go up I-45 between Houston and Dallas every day. And at that particular time, that'd be more than 1 million to 1 odds. And so they were able to take me to the next town, and I was able to get my car towed to Madisonville, and they were able to take me back to college, and God worked it all where I got my car back. But I just thought about in our lives, we have those kind of moments that just remind you that God really is in control and he's sovereign. Somebody once said, if God is not sovereign, then God is not God. Now, that doesn't explain everything. I don't understand why some things happen, some things don't. But all I know is this: on that day, God intervened in a supernatural way. And I think about that sometimes in our lives. You know what? I mean, these tests that we go through, it's just kind of preparing us for something down the road. And that day, my faith was really strengthened by that incident. God just really showed me who he is, that he's able to show up and do something that we can't even explain. So how about you? Have you ever had one of those, that's crazy, no, that's God stories? I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to drop me a comment. And always remember, you've got a story to tell.